name is Alison and I'm a British Wheel of Yoga teacher. I work at Yoga Soleil in the south of France, and I'm just doing this short practice today for you to work on at home, especially if you're isolated at the moment. So just to keep you flexible, keep you moving, and of course to help you relax, because that's what yoga is great for. So we're going to start with just a little bit of breathing. When we breathe in yoga, we start to breathe from the bottom of the lungs into the middle of the lungs, and then into this part under the shoulder blades. So a really long, deep breath in, and when you breathe out, just let the breath flow. Okay, so the hands open on the knees, just lifting the chest, lengthening the spine, keeping the back of the neck long. And if you want to, you can just join the index finger and the thumb. Just starting to breathe right into the bottom of the lungs, the middle, and into the top. And breathing out slowly. And again. And now just try and lengthen the exhalation slightly, if you can. One last deep breath. And release. So lengthening the exhalation is a really useful tool. It stimulates the vagus nerve that can help us slow down our cardiac, the cardiac rhythm, the heart rhythm. So it can actually, lengthening the exhalation can actually help us to relax. It's a physical thing, it's not just a mental thing. So that's good to know. Okay, good. So we're going to start lying down on the back, and I must say that if at any point during this practice you feel uncomfortable or you feel that that posture is not right for you, come back to the mat, just sit down for a moment and wait until you feel like you want to carry on, okay? Never force anything, and just listen to your own body. Work where you are today. Yoga is a journey, it's absolutely not a competition, and this is just designed to make you feel better. Okay, so just first of all, stretching out onto the mat, just pull down on the elbows so that you really lengthen the spine. And we're going to start with another good breath. Breathing in, pushing the heels away from you and stretching the arms out. And releasing. That's great. Then bending up the knees, pulling the knees into the chest, just very gently, keeping that lower back nice and flat on the floor. Rocking from side to side, little circles, just start to massage the back. And just notice if you've got any little problems in the back or anywhere else for that matter. You can turn the head a little bit too. Just use these first moments to just notice how you are this morning. Then with the hands lightly on each knees, we're going to start opening the hips. It's a bit like your swimming breaststroke. Keeping some action in the abs, keeping that core engaged, the back pressed down onto the mat. Breathing in as you bring the legs towards you, and out as you push them away from you. And changing direction, bring them in, breathing in and out as you push down through the middle. So this is more of a reverse breaststroke. But just keeping that lower back really fixed down onto the mat, keeping the neck long. And the feet down onto the mat. That's great. So I probably should have mentioned it to start with, but I didn't. So now's the moment to go and find a cushion and a little blanket and some sort of belt if you've got one, that would be handy. So you can just stop the video for a moment and go and find those things. And then, okay, when you're back with us, that's great. We're going to start with the belt, wherever I put mine, which is here. You can have a cushion under the head at this point if you want to. That's always helpful, keeps you comfortable. And just putting the belt round the heel, not right on the front of the foot, but round the heel. Bring the leg up to where it's comfortable for you. This left leg is bent. Breathing in, keeping the knee soft. And then as you breathe out, gently pushing the heel up towards the ceiling. Okay, so you're opening up all the back of the leg. So as you're breathing in, you're softening. And as you breathe out, you're pushing the heel to the ceiling and keeping that back nice and flat on the mat. So one more time, breathing in. And as you breathe out, pushing the heel to the ceiling. Don't force, just let the muscles open up with your breath. And just bringing that leg down, just taking a second to adjust the back, noticing how the leg feels. And changing sides. So again, knee nice and soft and then pushing gently with the exhalation. And pushing away gently. And again. And opening the back of that leg. That's great. It's really important to do this stuff, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting down, desk or driving or something like that. Okay, so now we're just going to work the two sides of the brain a little bit. We're going to lift opposite arms and legs. So with the back again nice and flat, we're going to lift the right leg and bring the left arm back as we breathe in. And breathing out, we come down. The other side, breathing in and coming down. One more time. Breathing in and coming down. Breathing in and coming down. Great. Okay. And now just rolling up the knees again. This time you're going to just place the hand inside the foot or maybe just catch hold of the toes. Okay. So the 2 feet like that. Knees are aiming towards the armpits there. And as we breathe in, we're going to just stay. And then on the out breath, just bringing the knees down towards the armpits. But keeping that back on the floor. You don't want to be lifting up like this. You really want to be just pushing the lower back into the floor as well. You can grab 2 belts or a couple of socks if you can't quite reach your feet. Use all the tools that you can just to keep yourself aligned. Alignment's very important. Keep the body aligned. And again, just bringing those knees down towards the armpits. Just working the hips a little bit. And then this is called Ananda Balasana, which is the happy baby pose. So you can pretend you're a happy baby. Just playing a little bit with your legs on the mat, rolling around. That's great. And bringing the legs down. Legs are parallel now. We're going to work a few little back bends. Okay. So if you've got something under your head, just take that out now and put it to one side, keeping the neck nice and long. Feet quite close to the buttocks. Feet parallel if you can, and important to keep the knees stable during this posture, these movements. So pushing the feet down into the floor, hands flat on the mat. And as you breathe in, you're just going to gently lift up the pelvis, just rolling the pelvis up. And as you lift out, you're just coming down vertebrae by vertebrae. I'm not turning my head in this posture, so if you want to look and then do it, that's a good plan, because it's not a good idea to be turning the neck while you're actually doing the movement. So okay, coming up maybe a little bit further, breathing in, pushing down on the feet, lifting up the pelvis, lifting up the chest now as well, pushing maybe into the upper arms, and then gently coming down. Lovely, one more time, breathing in. As you come up, always just linking the movements to the breath. That's one of the keys to yoga. And then when you're at the top of your extension, just breathing out, keeping the knees nice and stable. Just grab hold of the hands behind the back, or if that's not comfortable, the two sides of the mat. And just try and wriggle the shoulders down a little bit nearer to the heels. Absolutely don't turn the head. Pull down on the arms. Lift the pelvis a little bit more. Try and get a little bit more arch into that back, into the thoracic spine. And then release the hands and gently descend the upper back, middle back and lower back. That's great. Okay. Little variation now. So you're going to come up into the movement again, breathing in. And then at the top of the movement, you're going to stop, breathe out. And on the in-breath, bring the arms back behind the head. And as you breathe out, coming all the way down the arms and the back at the same time. We're just going to try that once more. So breathing in, lifting up. Lovely stretch, keeping those knees stable, the feet fixed in position. Lifting the back, breathing out, and then bringing the arms back on the next inhalation and gently exhaling all the way down. And just holding the knees again, and just give that back a nice massage. And coming up to sitting. That's great. So nice long back, action in the core again. Okay, we're going to work some boat posture. Just it's the core muscles that this is working on, so keep the core engaged, keep the chest lifted. Okay, we're going to first of all, breathing in, lift up the right leg and bring it down. Breathing in, lifting up the left leg and bring it down. Let's try that again. Breathing in and down. Breathing in and down. That's great. And then with the hands just under the thighs, keeping that back nice and long. Don't hunch up the shoulders, just keep the shoulders just well away from the ears. Just let those shoulder blades slide down the back. Find a little point of balance now on your buttocks. And again, lifting up and coming down. Lifting up, keeping that core engaged and coming down. That's great. And now maybe you can lift the right leg and release the left arm. And change. Let's try that again. That's lovely. Lifting the knees, legs up until they're parallel with the floor. That's great. Maybe if you're really feeling good today, you can release the arms. That's lovely. and then catching hold of the toes. Bring the feet down if you need to. Keeping the back long. I'm going to open up one leg and come back. Breathing in, opening up the other leg. It's lovely. And then open up 2 legs to match. Keeping the back nice and straight. And coming down. Great. Okay. And coming round onto your knees. So just put the blanket that you went and fetched earlier under your knees. That's great. Okay. Arms under your shoulders if possible. If not, just put them a little bit in advance of your shoulders if your wrists are a bit of a problem. Knees hip width apart always, okay? So you're going to start with some nice big circles. Hands are spread out on the mat there. Pushing the balls of your hands into the mat and just coming round in some lovely big circles. And exhaling, of course, as you go away from you, breathing in as you come forwards. Just really mobilising the back. And one more. Great. Okay. And then we're going to just do a little twist. So we always do the twists on the exhalation. We're going to start by just breathing in and bringing the arm up to shoulder height. Okay, this is the left arm I've got here. You'll need to keep the abs engaged, it's harder than it looks. Okay, and so from there, nice breath in, lengthening the spine. And as you breathe out, you're just going to turn the chest, okay? The arm doesn't actually move. Keep the back of the neck long, pulling the tummy button towards the spine and coming back. And the other side, breathing in, arm to shoulder height. Oops, I'm out of space there. And then as you breathe out, just turning the chest, pushing the hand on the floor rather than lifting that arm and straining the shoulder. So again, breathing in and turning and lifting into the twist, that's great. And coming back. Breathing in. And exhaling into the twist. That's lovely. Great, okay, so we're going to lie down on our tummies now and work into a few little back bends again. This can go under the hips. It can just help you give a little bit of lift. So just popping that under the hips can help with this extension. Let's move forwards a bit. Seem to be falling off the mat. That's it. So I'm going to keep my elbows really nice and close in to my chest. Okay, don't want these elbows flying out. The fingers just about in line with my eyes. Okay, keeping the pelvis on the floor now. We're not lifting the hips at all. And again, as we breathe in, pushing down on the hands and pulling on the elbows. You're just trying to lengthen the spine as you breathe in. Keeping the neck long. You don't want the head back. No, no, no. Keep looking down at the mat gently. And then as you breathe out, again pulling on the hands to lengthen the spine. Pause a moment. Extra breath if you want one. And again, breathing in. And breathing out and coming down. You can bring the hands back a fraction if you're comfortable there. Breathing in, coming up, and maybe now just stay for a second. Just staring straight ahead. You can move the neck if you want to, release the neck. The Bhujangasana, the serpent, and on an exhalation, come down.
pushing down on the hands. Put the big toes together, open out the knees, and put this back under your knees if you want to. Nice to keep the knees protected. So sit back on the heels. If that doesn't work, pop something under your buttocks. Stretch out forwards, that gives the lower back a nice long stretch. Head needs to touch the floor. If it doesn't, again, find your book, your brick, whatever you've got. Just put the head up. And just notice how you breathe into the back ribs. And come in. That's great. Okay, into Dandasana, which is the start posture. Okay, keeping the, you can sit on this now if you want to, because if your pelvis is sort of tilted backwards, that's not a good beginning. So you need to get the pelvis so it's nice and aligned. You need to have the natural curves in your back if you can. So you can sit on a block or a cushion if that's helpful. And if you've got a great big space under the knees, then maybe just put the blanket under the knees, sit on your cushion. Okay, protect the knees. You don't want to have them hyperextended. Okay, so that's great. Work where you are today, okay? Don't try and go further than is good for you. Hands in sort of inverted cups at each side. Working the abs again, action in the core, feet are active, and as you breathe in, bringing the arms up and releasing the shoulders, stretching up the arms. Hands, palms are facing each other like you've got a big ball in between your arms. And then coming down. And then just linking the hands, breathing in as you push them out, and just breathe out as you bring the arms back into the shoulder sockets. And then breathing in, opening the palms to the ceiling. Keep that chest lifted and release the shoulders. And if you can, as you breathe out, you can just bring the arms back behind the ears. And coming down. Now just change the way you cross the hands. We always do it one way automatically, so try the other way. And breathing in, coming up. That's great. Lovely. Bring the little finger back towards the mat behind you. And coming down. And just release the shoulders. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to try a forward bend. And what we absolutely don't want in the forward bend is lots of hunched shoulders, okay? So even if it means you don't go very far, keep the back long. Sit on your cushion if that's helpful, okay? Just work where you are today, a little bit at a time. You'll find that you begin to get more movement, a little bit more flexible. And again, if you've got that gap under those knees, just pop the blanket under, okay? If you're already quite flexible in the legs, then you won't need to use those things today, and you can just go without. Have the belt ready around where the feet are. I'm going to start by just bending up the knees, just gluing them to your chest, keeping the back long. And then slowly, 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 we're going to inch the feet forwards, keeping the back long. And as soon as you find that your chest is coming unstuck from the knees, then you need to just push the feet forwards, keeping the back long where it is, and just grab the belt. Okay. And then pulling gently on the belt, lifting the spine, first of all, keeping the neck long. Lifting the spine, keeping the neck long, and breathing. So each time that you inhale, lifting the spine, and as you exhale, you can just pivot gently from the hips. Absolutely no hunching the shoulders. Just keeping the back long, keeping the shoulder blades sliding down towards the buttocks. As you just use the breath to gently descend towards the knees. Now, Paschimottanasana, this extension, actually means extension to the west. So it's all about lengthening the spine. It's not actually about getting that head down onto the knees. So again, breathing in. You have to submit to this posture. So you just try and release into it. It doesn't work if you force it. Couple more breaths there. Just focus on that space, the other side of your feet as you come down. Thinking about the vertebrae, just lengthening, finding space between the vertebrae, and just gently coming down. And then just one more release. Keeping the back long. That's lovely. And releasing the hands. Lengthening the back first of all. And bring the arms all the way up. And down. Great. Good. Well done. Paschimottanasana. Takes practice, of course, to go that little bit further, but you can do it regularly and you'll find that you very quickly get better. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to try and do that by crossing our legs and standing up. Now, sometimes this works for me and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so we'll see how we are today. Yeah, okay, so today that's good. Maybe it worked for you, maybe it didn't. Go carefully. That's fine. Coming into Tadasana to start with. So just lengthening through the legs, through the back, rolling the shoulders back, straightening the arms, and just looking straight in front of you. Breathing in, just finding your feet sticking down onto the mat. On an out breath, you're pulling up through the pelvic floor, pulling in the abs, just using that core, Uddiyana Bandha. And release. And just bringing some weight onto the left foot a moment and just lifting the right foot, seeing how your balance is today. Okay, good, maybe or not. And coming onto the right foot, just really feeling that root down to the floor and lifting up the left foot. And coming down. And then we're going to get the belt. So you're going to bring the belt just under that thigh, okay, just by the knee, lengthening up through the spine, and again, really rooting down through the left foot, engaging the abs, and as you breathe in, just bringing that up. And as you breathe out, you can just open to the side if that's good for you today. Maybe put yourself by a chair or a wall if you need to. Lovely. And coming back. And coming down. Great. Change legs. Now some of you might think, oh, I don't really need the belt. Okay, go ahead, try it without the belt, no problem. We can do that. But for others of you, balance maybe not feeling too great this morning, so you're going to go with the belt. Why not? Okay, so coming up. Knee parallel to the floor, level with the thigh, and extending out to the side. Keeping the gaze fixed, keeping the core engaged. Try not to look at the floor, try to look at the wall or something. It's good to keep the gaze up, keeps you in the present. And back, and down. Great. So maybe that's as far as you're going today, in which case you can repeat that one. If you feel, oh no, I can do more than that, I always do yoga. So we'll put the belt around the foot this time. This didn't work too great for me earlier, so we'll see how we go. And we're coming up, bringing the leg, thigh, foot level with the hip. And then as you breathe out, you open to the side. Just counting 1, 2, 3. And coming back. And down. That was better. Really important to keep the gaze fixed and not to let the mind wander. As soon as your mind wanders, then the body does too. Okay, so we're going to try the other side, coming up. down to the side. And coming back, steady yourself, and down. That's great, good. And just pop that to the side. I'm going to just lift up the arms, oops, forgot I was on the mezzanine. And bending the knees down onto the thighs, you can just stretch out the lower back there. And when you're ready, coming down into a little squat. You can keep the heels on the ground if you can, but I can't, so I don't. Pushing the palms together and just maybe opening, lengthening the back. And then coming down onto the mat. I'm going to just roll out a little bit like this if you're good with that. If not, you can go back to the side to side movement we did earlier. Then just lengthening down onto the mat. Knees hip width apart. Just releasing the knees down to the side as you breathe out. Into centre and to the other side. Turning the head to the opposite direction to the knees. So if that's good, you can continue with that for a couple of breaths. If you want to go a bit further and the lower back's feeling okay, coming up, maybe putting a brick or a cushion between the knees. And as you breathe out, you can just release over into the twist. But your shoulders need to stay on the floor. So if you find they're not, then you need to really go back to the previous posture for a couple of breaths. Engaging the core as you come up, really rolling that spine onto the floor as you go to the other side. One option actually, if you find that it's a bit strained, is just to pop a cushion or a couple of cushions under the knees, help you keep the shoulders on the floor. You'll probably find, as I do, that one side's better than the other, or a bit more flexible than the other. I shouldn't be judgy. It's not a question of better, it's just different. And coming back to the centre. Lovely. So now, a little inversion to finish, Viparita Karani. You can grab the cushion or grab your brick, and you're putting that under the lower back. Okay, so it goes in that space between the waist and the buttocks. If you want to go against the wall, do so, but make sure the buttocks are really close up to the wall. And then just simply lifting up the legs. And you can stay like this for a couple of minutes, see how you go. If you're not comfortable, of course, come down. But generally the inversion is pretty beneficial at the end of the practice. Move your legs around, gets the circulation going in the legs. Come back to the breath, just notice the breathing. Keep the neck long. Put the cushion back under your head if you want to, of course. And after you've done that for a couple of minutes, you're going to finish the practice with Shavasana, the relaxation pose. So just really lengthening that spine onto the mat. Okay, just make sure it's really long. Stretching out the legs, hip width apart. Find a cover if you're feeling a bit chilly. Opening the palms to the ceiling. Try not to have anything touching you, just be completely free. Keep the neck long, cushion or blanket under the head can be comfortable. Okay. And you're just going to release from the head, chest, arms, pelvis, the thighs, the calves and the feet. And then as you breathe out, release through the top of the head. Closing your eyes maybe, and just staying a couple of minutes. Just letting the body assimilate everything you've been doing in this last half-hour practice. And you can stay there a bit longer if you'd like to. And when you're ready, roll over onto the right hand side. Just notice how you're feeling as you come up, gently using the left hand to help you. Coming back maybe into a sitting position to just think about how you're feeling. And thanks for joining me today.